hear that? On your birthday? Exactly. Exactly.
Hey man, did you see Trump's military parade?
No, I didn't see it.
It was a flop with a capital fleur.
For real?
I'm suddenly less worried that he's gonna become a dictator because Mussolini would have never allowed himself to be embarrassed at such a scale. Nobody showed up, for one thing. It was about the same amount of people you might expect to see at the Moab 4th of July parade. If that. He made such a huge deal about how this would be the greatest military parade ever and people would be awed and shocked by our power. Instead, you just see a bunch of soldiers discordantly shuffling down the street while a tank rolls by squeaking. You could not have made it funnier if you tried. There's a great Fox News clip you can see where the announcer goes, "Oh, the crowd is roaring," and then they cut to the crowd and they're just going, "Do you want to be in an episode of Veep?" Because I think we're in an episode of Veep, a show I've never actually seen, but I want to. Turns out Nazis don't show up in a pinch. All it takes to put them off is a hot, rainy day. Just very funny to me that Nazis were at home going, "Well, I'd step out, but it's just a little humid. My closely cropped hair gets kind of curly." Instead of Sieg Heilen, they would have all just been going. And then they keep showing you Donald Trump, and he's sitting there with the same expression that Charlie Brown got when his kite got stuck in a tree. Just sad and mad and disappointed.
Poor guy.
Give it to me, Donald. Your despair sustains me. Seeing Donald Trump sad turns me into the villain from Legends. Remember that movie? Feed me your misery. So yeah, Donald Trump looks stupid and I'm sure feels very embarrassed, so we're all allowed a very long and sustained laugh.
Only one thing I ain't like about that Trump military parade.
What's that?
He ain't have the Confederate Army in the march.
No, sir. Sure didn't.
He had the George Washington Patriot Army marching, and the Union Army of Northern Aggression Army marching, and the Army from the World Wars, but no Confederate Army. How come our ancestors ain't get included? They was in an army too.
Yes, sir. Because our ancestors fought for their freedoms in this country just like the other armies did too. I don't know, maybe it's because Trump don't like losers and our ancestors lost to the Union Army of Northern Aggression.
Well, we didn't lose. It was a lost cause.
Yes, sir.
Because the war was only about states' rights, which the government completely infringed on.
Yes, sir. You're right.
But at least Trump is going to change the names of the military bases back to the Confederate generals like they should be.
Yes, sir. It's about time, too.
And he's back to let them be about states' rights, as it should be.
Maybe it's time for the South to rise again.
You ain't lying. It just might rise again.
We got breaking news here in D.C. at the military parade that Trump's having for his special big boy birthday. It's starting to rain. That's right, it's starting to rain, and I want to make sure that the message is clear. And you can tell by the clouds here, it's going to rain big. It's going to be huge. It's going to rain so bigly, and I want the message to be understood here. This is for you, white Christian nationalists. Hey, Christian nationalist movement, listen, very important Christian nationalist movement. God said, fuck Donald Trump. God said, fuck Donald Trump and his dumbass parade. God is quite literally raining on Donald Trump's parade. Turns out the whole Jesus being a socialist thing should have been your first fucking clue.
Okay, were any of my fellow veterans out there caught off guard by just how shitty Trump's military parade looked? I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I was genuinely shocked. Now, don't get me wrong, the United States Army has plenty of problems, but finding the pageantry and stagecraft necessary to pull off a tight public performance, not generally one of them. They pretty much nail that one every time. The presentation of the equipment was lackluster and uninspiring. The uniforms didn't look all that sharp. The marching was a horror story. Like, they're just walking. Nobody's in step. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. I don't know, the entire thing just seemed tacky, cheap, and unprofessional to me, which is really funny when you consider the fact that they went out of their way to tell you that this was sponsored by random crypto scams.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase.
It's like a bad dream. To end on a good note, whenever I saw one of the Army marching bands, they look pretty tight. They seem squared away. And to end on an even better note, I love that the thing was sparsely attended. It couldn't happen to a better.
Hey guys, welcome back to Afro Judy. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Yesterday was Trump's 79th birthday. Happy birthday to him. He marked it by staging a massive military parade in Washington, D.C. and the reactions online are so hilarious. His own community turned their back against him by calling the military parade embarrassing, flop, and dud. And some went ahead and said that it was pageantry, not patriotism. It was dictatorship, not democracy. So, guys, I have some clips for you. I want to roll them back so that we can watch the hilarious reaction from both the white community and the black community. And kindly give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you are coming across the channel for the very first time. I'm your host and presenter, Judy, and let's dive in right away.
Donald Trump was caught crying during his birthday parade. At least that's how it seemed, as the whole thing was a flop. Now, multiple times today during the parade, Donald Trump was caught falling asleep, looking bored, yawning. But this moment will be the image of the parade. Take a look at this. Full pouty face by Donald Trump. It is almost something you would create with AI, but that is real. Yeah, and his whole staff during the parade looked bored. Marco Rubio was caught yawning. The whole thing was just a flop. And while a lot of you are going to say, well, it's honoring the Army, you can honor the Army. You can celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Army without honoring yourself. And that's what Donald Trump did. And we know it was for his birthday because they sang happy birthday to him and presented him with a gift at the end of the parade. The whole thing fell apart and Donald Trump's face showed it all. Meanwhile, the No Kings protest were a resounding smash hit. Smiles everywhere. Well done, America.
It appears that members of MAGA are now calling Donald Trump King Trump, and they're using this military parade as a coronation of sorts of him as king.
Happy birthday, King Trump. Happy birthday, King Trump. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, King Trump.
Like, I'm fed the fuck up. Like, literally, I can't take this shit no more. No fucking.
We all know that MAGA is a very particular type of person, which seems to be, amongst all else, all things Trump. Nothing matters. They're unwavering. It's like a fundamentalist type of view. It's kind of like radical in a sense. But to come online and say, happy birthday, King Trump, is really fucking crazy. It just goes to show you the psyche and mentality of where a lot of Americans, not all of us, a lot of Americans are at. If it's not a dictator, why is it dictator shaped?
It's gonna rain on your head. You mean to tell me it rained on Donald Trump's parade yesterday, and I mean literally rained on his parade? Come on, sip a little tea with Auntie. Let's talk about it. So, y'all, it was expected to be, up towards 1 million people at that parade, y'all. When I tell you, they saying, if they had to count, nobody know exactly how many was there, that'll be put out later, but it looked like less than 10,000 people was at the parade. He's sitting up there, him and his wife, looking like they'd rather be in any place in this world than to sit up on that stage and look out in that crowd and see all that empty space out there. Not to mention, y'all, the protests all around the world, y'all, probably the biggest turnout in protesting in the United States history, y'all. Millions of people, y'all. They said it was over 5 million people protesting. But this ain't the icing on the cake, y'all. I come from a red state. Louisiana is a red state. Not to mention my parish, which I'm not going to say right now, but my parish is a red parish. When I tell you the protesters in my little small town, y'all, and keep in mind, they did not look like me. They didn't look like me, y'all. Without saying it, they ain't look like me, y'all. Them people showed up the protest in my little red state, in my red parish yesterday, baby. I know a lot of stuff went down when people trying to, maul over protesters and everything yesterday, baby. But when I say them protesters showed up and showed out, and they did not go to that rainy day parade, now that's the tea you sip right there. I know he wasn't expecting that, baby. He went to the White House last night and went to cry. He had to cry so bad. Cause baby, you thought the people was coming. You paid some of them to put on the t-shirts and that, and still ain't have a handful of people. Bye, y'all. Thank y'all for sipping a little more tea with Auntie. Bye, y'all.
Do it peacefully. It's a vulgar display. It's the kind of thing you see Kim Jong-un, you see it Putin, you see it with dictators around the world that are weak and just want to demonstrate strength. Weakness masquerading as strength. To fet the dear leader on his birthday, what an embarrassment. Honestly, that's about as small as it gets. How weak do you have to be to commandeer the military to fet you on your birthday in a vulgar display of weakness?
We all know how much Trump cares about crowd size, and the footage coming out about his little military parade it's pretty embarrassing. But of course, he's going to spin it like it was the biggest crowds and so many people showed up. It was the best parade ever.
Good morning, fans.
That is so embarrassing. And the 25% of people who voted for him are going to try to defend him. Also embarrassing. More people showed up to the protest to say they don't like him. Because there are more of us that don't like him.
That one video sums up the entire Reddit Center parade. Nobody was there. The next time I'm depressed and want to be alone, I'm going to this parade.
North Carolina. You'll notice the unit.
Lazy, no energy. Aren't y'all supposed to be marching? They're not even in unison. And the person who's on the microphone has like the microphone right up to their face because you can hear every bit of spit coming out their mouth. Oh no, look at that. Taco is crying because this parade was a flop. Oh no. So the government spent over $40 million planning for this military parade and spectacular, only to get trolled online by people reserving tickets who were never going to go. They said 250,000 people were going to be there, but you can clearly see there's about 5,000, if that. Most of the stands were empty, and they didn't even have risers, so people could not see over the people in front of them.
So guys, welcome back. Actually, the reactions online are so hilarious. I've just been laughing because people right now are pointing out things directly. They are saying it the way it's supposed to be said. And where were the MAGA people yesterday when Trump had his birthday and held a massive military parade? Why didn't they attend that parade to avoid all those embarrassment? Right now, if the white folks can come out and say that that parade was just a dud, oh my god, it's not even a surprise because this is what majority of the MAGA people voted for. And they are so embarrassed right now because this is not what they expected. And the California governor roasted Trump lively. He said that parade is just an embarrassment. It's wastage of money because spending $25 million on a birthday to stage a military parade, and there are homeless people in the United States. This money can help these people. There are schools which need to be renovated. This money can help such kind of schools. There are infrastructure which need to be constructed. This money can help such kind of projects. And this is why majority of the white people are so furious that Trump used a lot of money and it's their tax money. They're paying for all of it. And this is the main reason as to why there was a massive protest yesterday, No King's Day. And I still wonder, there are some of the MAGA people still calling Donald Trump king. Like, the second man is behaving like a king. He wants people to bow down to him. He wants people to praise him like a king. And he was actually freaking out yesterday because the turnout was so low. He didn't expect that. And you know right now, the world is watching. And actually people are just waiting for that military parade yesterday to see if the turnout was going to be good. And surprise, surprise, it wasn't good. And there were a lot of symbolism. For instance, people say that that military parade was kinda authoritarianism because he wanted to be authoritative so much. Others say that that celebration was supposed to be a funeral celebration. It wasn't supposed to be a democracy celebration. Then some of the white folks, people look like this, they went ahead and say that that is pageantry, not patriotism. And that is dictatorship, not democracy. If the white folks are saying this right now, how is life going to be in the next 4 years if your very own people are turning their back against you? You must sit down and ask yourself, is whatever I'm doing the right thing? And what am I supposed to do so that people can change their way of behavior? Because I think the turnout yesterday in the No King's Day protest, that is the turnout that was expected at the military parade on Tahoe's birthday. So the disappointment. And some of the markers are still saying that there was no turnout on the protest, like honestly. And now comes in my cousins, the black folks. Their reaction, like honestly, do we have comedians like the comedians we have in the United States? The way people imitate Taco Man. Oh, you guys, I need that talent because if I can have it, there is a woman who really imitated Taco exactly the way he always talked. And the woman also had the same wig, which looked like Taco's hair. There is also another white dude who imitated him directly and said that whatever he's doing is not good, that this is not the military parade I expected. Maybe we should repeat it again. Wow. And right now, I don't know if those military who attended his parade, who staged the parade, are the same military who are deployed in Los Angeles to raid the undocumented immigrants. I just wish Orange Man could have known that the workforce in the United States all come from the undocumented immigrants, because those people, honestly, they work so hard every day to make sure that their families are well fed. And now, on your birthday, people saying that you must go. Birthday is a special day that you should be having all the happiness in the world, and your very own people are going out on the street protesting, uttering and chanting words that Trump must go, and it's your very birthday. Honestly, how do you feel? Because if it was my birthday, honestly, if someone ruins my birthday, I think that year will be the worst year ever in my life, because I always know that birthdays are special days. Anyway, I just wish him happy birthday because it's a special day. But whatever is going on in the United States, it's hilarious. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about this. Do you have any sympathy for him? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I honestly appreciate it. Let's keep the conversation going and learn from each other in the comment section. Until next time, guys, I'm your presenter and host, Judy. Let's meet on my next episode. Bye.